keep buying a dip in Bitcoin, you probably will come out, especially given where we're at right now, which is monumental. We have an event coming up, which I think almost everything I've listened to and everything, we are so saturated with media today. We have so many people, even just like me, guy just here, Southern California, nobody's special, and I'm making content on YouTube. And I don't have an agenda. I'm not selling anything. I'm not shilling anything. I don't have any t-shirts. I don't have any sponsors. I have nothing. It's just me and my opinions, and on YouTube, and with a small audience. So I have no agenda here. I'm just telling you what I know. And I already got a comment. I appreciate it. I'll talk to the comments. Thanks a lot. Lenny, I appreciate it. But I'll deal with your comment as soon as I get through with it, what I want to speak with about. So I'll talk. If you want to comment, and then after I get done, I'll go through the comments and we'll talk about whatever anybody wants to post. So back to my original point. You have so much content going on right now that I'm almost certain, based on what I'm sifting through and listening to, not only the guys that are really rich, like the billionaire guys, but everybody else, the people that are just making content and not making content for any agenda. They're all saying the same thing. And they're saying that ETFs, exchange traded funds for Bitcoin, are almost 100% going to happen within the next few weeks. And I'm, based on the content that people are creating, and based on what I'm seeing, and based on what I know and what I think and feel and read from the Security and Exchange Commission. And of course, I used to be a stockbroker, and I've dealt with the Security and Exchange Commission. I was a principal at a brokerage firm in Denver, Colorado. I was one of the principals. So we had to deal with the SEC all the time. We were taking companies public. So I kind of know. I didn't deal with the head of the Security and Exchange Commission or anything like that, but I dealt with people there, and I kind of know their bureaucracy, and I kind of know their protocol and how they work and how they handle things and how stuff moves slowly. And I kind of see all that. And I kind of seen that for the last few years with this ETF. And of course, the ETF is not new. That's not like they decided back in, March this year that they wanted an ETF. They've been trying to get ETFs for a long, long, long time. What really swung the pendulum in the favor of the ETFs this time is BlackRock and Larry Fink, and I'm going to show you that in a video here in a second, because Fink is one of the biggest asset managers in the world. I mean, BlackRock has about 2/3 of the S&P 500. They're massive. They're in the $12 trillion under management. They filed for an ETF. And of course, when the biggest asset managers in the world want an ETF, that's kind of a pretty big deal for us here, looking at Bitcoin price right now, saying, hey, in just a few weeks, we might have massive buying. And when we have massive buying, what happens with Bitcoin? They just don't print it like they do everything else in the world, and they only have a fixed supply. So if you don't want to sell it, which most Bitcoiners are not going to want to sell it because of the fact that they know the ETF is coming, that's pretty obvious. Who's going to want to sell it right now? You could be looking at $50,000 Bitcoin here real quick. That's almost $10,000 higher than what it is right now. That's why I say buy the dips. Nobody's going to sell it at this price. You'd have to be a fool with the information out there. And even if you don't believe the ETFs, you have to take in consideration, we have a halving coming up very quickly. So you're going to have a supply shock for Bitcoin, huge supply shock. You've got a lot of retail customers coming in to buy the ETF. And we know that. And the reason we know that a lot of ETF customers are coming in to buy BlackRock is because of MicroStrategies. MicroStrategies is run by Michael Saylor. He's a publicly traded company. It's called MicroStrategies. You can look it up. I'm not going to go there now because I got other screens set up. But his company's trading. You can buy that as a proxy for Bitcoin. If you don't want to buy Bitcoin through a Coinbase or someplace like that, or own your own Bitcoin, hold your self-custody, you could go to MicroStrategies and buy Bitcoin. And it's trading at a premium because there's so much anxiousness to buy Bitcoin on a publicly traded fund or a publicly traded company that they're buying MicroStrategies, and they're paying a premium of Bitcoin. So you could buy MicroStrategies and it's trading higher than if you actually bought the Bitcoin, because of the fact that he's publicly traded. He's got under the the eye of the Security and Exchange Commission, has to follow all the rules and regulations. He can't do what FTX did, you know, self-custody and all that other stuff that they did. So they have some, and of course, Michael Saylor's got a track record. He's got a publicly traded company for a long time. He's from Omaha, Nebraska too. I was born in Omaha. I thought that was pretty cool because I went to school in Omaha. So you could buy it right now and it's trading at a premium. That tells you one thing right now. That tells you there's extreme demand for this ETF, buying on a ticker symbol on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange. So when we have all that money coming in from the ETF, pent up money that's wanting to buy Bitcoin that hasn't done it yet because maybe for whatever reason they can't do it because they're under certain constraints because maybe it's your retirement money. It's something that whatever it is that, you know, you can't just go out and buy Bitcoin. And I mean, I don't know what your rules and regulations are for your retirement funds, but there's a lot of people that can't or won't buy Bitcoin until they see it's got the blessings of the Security and Exchange Commission. It's got a ticker symbol, and they can get up every morning and go to the internet and say, hey, that's Bitcoin's up or down based by my ETF. And a lot of other people have joined in with me. So you've got the feeling that it's not me alone. It's not me just buying Bitcoin. I'm with the fund, and the fund's being managed, and someone's watching it, and there's somebody that's held accountable for the price of it. And if it goes down, it goes up. So that's huge. I mean, absolutely massive. The facts. Thanks, Golden Dragon. I appreciate it. So yeah, you got a lot of things going on right now with Bitcoin, which means I don't think anybody's selling. And I do think there's going to be a supply shock here real quick, especially when the ETFs come through. But I'm going to start going through something. So I'm showing you a little bit of a few things. And I might show you but I've showed MicroStrategies quite a bit of it. I can show you. So I want to play just a little bit of Novogratz video, but that's me and Mike Novogratz. Okay, that's the guy. If you don't know who Mike Novogratz is, he's a hedge fund manager. He's a Bitcoiner. He's been in Bitcoin for a while. If you can look at this video, that's 5 years ago when he and I did this video together. I'll play just a little bit of it. I met him at a hackathon up in San Francisco. This guy's an insider of insiders. And yeah, just to show you how long I've been in Bitcoin, it's 5 years ago that we were at this conference, and I was in it since 2015. So I've been in Bitcoin almost 10 years. And this was made 5 years ago. I'll play just a little bit of it. Okay, now we're going. Good. Did one a little bit earlier and I messed up. So thankful for Mike to come back on my channel and do it again. So thanks, Mike. And what do you think about tonight's?
This was great. It's the first time I've been to a hackathon. There's tons of energy.
Okay, we were at a party after a hackathon, and I found him. I met him. Started talking to him. He's a nice guy. He's a wrestler. He went to one of the Ivy League schools, and I think he was a wrestler, and he's into wrestling. My sons are both wrestlers. They're into wrestling, so we had a great conversation. I had a good time with him. He was a lot of fun. You know, it was hard for me to believe that the guy, you know, is so, you know, has so much money, because he didn't seem like that to me that night. He was pretty down to earth and calm. But I talked to him a little bit about all this stuff. And of course, like I say, he's the insider of insiders. This guy is worth billions and billions of dollars, made his money in the hedge funds. He was with one of the big banks that, I think Goldman Sachs. I think he was a hedge fund manager for Goldman Sachs. I think he made his money in the offshore or in the Asian market by trading equities over there. I don't know what he did, but he made it over billions of dollars, a couple $1 billion. So he's up there in that upper echelon of people. And of course, he's well connected. He knows everybody. He knows everybody at the Security and Exchange Commission. He knows everybody that's in the government. He knows everybody that's in politics. He knows everybody that's anybody. This guy knows. So he's about as well connected as you can get. And I really, that night, talked to him about cryptocurrencies and the depth of his understanding and where he thought cryptos were going. And he's a pretty intelligent crypto person. I was surprised. He's not just a Bitcoiner. He knows quite a bit about the altcoins too, Ethereum and all he is. He knows Vitalik. He knows everybody. So he's been around for a long, long time. And of course, now he's one of the talking heads on the shows. So that's him today. I want to go back and listen to a couple of things he says. I want to go back to, on this video, let's go to 3 minutes. Or actually, just go a little bit about 3 minutes. Okay, listen to what this guy says. This guy's worth billions. I'll just show you what he's worth. Well, I won't do it right now, but just look him up. That's his name, Mike Novogratz. I think it's in this. It's right there, right here. It's Mike Novogratz. If you want to Google him and find out more about it, I'm not going to go into his. Most people that are into crypto will know who he is. As Michael Saylor, they know both. These guys are both billionaires pitching Bitcoin, as was Elon Musk and a few others. You got a bunch of other ones too. A couple of that guy on Shark Tank. There's a bunch of them pitching Bitcoin right now. And this is why I love Bitcoin so much, because you're able to jump in at the same time this guy's jumping in. You're able to buy Bitcoin when he's buying Bitcoin. You're buying Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin way ahead of these guys, way ahead of Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor didn't get into Bitcoin until 2020. I was in way before he was in. So, you know, if you're just an ordinary person, it's still early in the game. These billionaires are buying in right now. I mean, in fact, he even says he wants to buy some calls on Bitcoin. Calls means you want to buy some Bitcoin for the future. So you want to have the option to buy Bitcoin at a certain price. So he's going to buy some calls. I'll show you that in a second. But I just want to let you listen to a little bit of this.
Globally, with no supply, where prices could go. And it got me literally, I've always wanted to go out and buy.
Okay, I want to go earlier than that, because he's talking about supply, where the prices could go if these ETFs and stuff started happening. But I'm going to go a little bit earlier. Okay, let's go. That's Larry Fink. This guy, Larry Fink, you're looking at right now. That's the largest asset manager in the world. He has control of about $13 billion, or 13 trillion. I'm sorry. So here, let's listen to what Novogratz says.
Seismic shift in the cryptocurrency market following Larry Fink's public endorsement of Bitcoin.
Okay, so Fink's publicly addressing Bitcoin, saying, hey, Bitcoin pump a flight to quality. BlackRock CEO, largest asset manager in the world. This is what he's saying about Bitcoin.
Fink, as the head of the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, has sent ripples through the financial community, heralding a new era of legitimacy and potential for cryptocurrencies. Mike Novogratz,
Okay, listen, I got to break this up because I can't play this guy's video entirely.
known for his acute market foresight and unparalleled expertise, interprets Fink's bullish stance as a pivotal moment, a clarion.
Okay, I'll move it up just a little bit. See if I catch it here.
He underscores the magnitude of this endorsement, positioning it as a game-changing development, showing interest in Bitcoin, signaling a big change in how
Gave the bullish Bitcoin story.
Okay, let's see if he says. I think this is where he talks about Fink.
Had a lot more confidence the ETF would happen. I said that the largest asset manager in the world has just credentialized our asset class.
There you go. So the largest asset manager in the world. Why Jamie Dimon is telling you it's nothing but drug money. This guy Fink is saying, hey, I'm wanting to establish ETFs in Bitcoin. So that tells you where it's going. So Novogratz just said, hey, when that happened, it turned the tide.
And I told him, I was like, dude, we've won. It's game over. Put your phone away. Turn your screen off. You luckily don't have.
Okay, we won. According to Novogratz, we won. Once Fink decided to give up and accept Bitcoin, turn it into an ETF, it's over with. It's accepted. It's money. And it's money that is confined by a limited supply, which is going to create a supply shock here real quick. And I'll see if we can get him to talk about that a little bit here, if I can catch the right points.
It might even be higher than. But to put that in perspective, Galaxy trades at where I think that's about 4 times book. It might even be higher than. But to put that in demand, because again, a mining and it makes me scratch my.
Okay, I'm not going to go into all the little details in this video because I don't want to play this guy's video. Plus, I think I'm getting the point across. The point across is BlackRock, trillions of dollars under management. If they put a small percentage of that money in the Bitcoin ETF of their customers, the people that they manage money for, it's going to create a supply shock. It's going to create a price that's just going to explode up. Okay, and that's what Novogratz is talking about. He talks about this in the video. He talks about how he's wanting to buy calls, which is being able to leverage the market upward, not buy the Bitcoin, but buy a contract on buying Bitcoin in the future at today's prices. So you'd be jumping in with this guy at the right time. Let me see if I can find the exact point where he says that. Let's see if I get it right here. Let's see if I can find the exact time he said that. It's hard to do on these videos where people are just playing somebody else's video. Then it's hard for me to figure out where they're at here.
445, it should pause. But man, oh man, it doesn't trade like that. It trades like God. It's still.
It's not. It's a little bit further.
ETF proxy traded at 20% premium to Bitcoin. Should you
talking about MicroStrategy's trading 20% premium to Bitcoin because of the fact they're on a stock exchange.
dollars or $650 million of MicroStrategy stock to buy Bitcoin at the premium. So he's doing trades that are accretive to book. What's shocking is he did that and the spread didn't move. And
Okay, so he bought more Bitcoin and the spread didn't move. Let me see if I can find that part where he talks about
it tells you just how much pent-up demand in the equity markets there is for crypto product. Marathon is trading.
Okay, so there's pent-up demand because MicroStrategies is trading at a premium to the Bitcoin price, and all they're doing is buying Bitcoin. Saylor's pretty much shut down MicroStrategies. He's just turning it all into Bitcoin. He's a shell for Bitcoin. You want to buy Bitcoin? Buy MicroStrategy. Very smart, intelligent move by his part. He was able to get a premium on his stock by the fact that nothing was offered on the stock exchange for Bitcoin. So he just turned his company into a Bitcoin buyer. You could buy Bitcoin as a proxy through MicroStrategies. And that's what I've been saying that forever. I've been saying that long before Novogratz talked about it.
Trading, $16 a share, might even be higher than. But to put that in perspective, Galaxy trades at one point. Marathon is a stock that there is a ton of pent-up demand.
Okay, here we go.
Because, again, a mining stock is an okay proxy for Bitcoin.
They're talking about Bitcoin miners.
I'm in the mining business of stocks trade. Okay. And so it makes me pretty damn bullish over the next 12 months.
Mike further discusses the broader market sentiment, where Bloomberg ETF analysts have expressed a 90%. However, there's an understanding echoes this sentiment. Ether ETF notes the significant. However, this demand shift in market behavior.
Me and Dan we met with Bill Dudley, who was,
Okay, he's talking about some of the people he's met with. I'm not going to go through this video because I hadn't really listened to it that close to be able to pick out the points that I want to pick out. Just trust me on what he says. You can watch the video yourself. I put a link below on the video. Basically what he said is he says, hey, look, there's going to be a lot of supply demand, and we don't have the supply in Bitcoin to take up the demand of these huge ETFs. I call them mutual funds because that's what they are to me. It's mutual funds. People pulling their money together to buy an asset. There's only 21 million ever mined, and we haven't mined all the Bitcoin yet. And a lot of it's been lost in the millions in Satoshi's account, the creator, the founder, who we don't believe is alive anymore. It will never be touched. It's locked up forever. So now you got trillions coming in with these ETFs. Where do you think that's going to land Bitcoin? It's going to land Bitcoin a lot higher, and it's going to be a supply squeeze. So that's the one thing why when you have little dips like this, there's nothing to be concerned about because you got a squeeze coming up here very, very soon. A real big squeeze, a couple $1 trillion squeeze, of which they're not going to have supply. So they're going to have to bid it up until they get it out of the hands of the people that are holding it. And let me tell you, Bitcoin's held by pretty tight hands right now. So I wouldn't be the least bit concerned with jumping in at these levels. I see 50, hopefully it's 50 very soon. My opinion only, but I hopefully see 50 pretty soon. Let me go back to the news and see if there's anything else I want to talk about. Here you go. Buy the dip, sell the rip. Bitcoin price levels to watch as Bitcoin taps 42K. A spot Bitcoin is easy. What comes after that? Okay, so yeah, we just got a little bit of a correction right here, and we're going to be off to the races as soon as that clears out. And we get on with what we need to get on with, which is the ETF and the halving. So even if you don't believe in the ETF, you say, I don't think that's going to happen. That's just complete, market FOMO, fear of missing out, or that's just people exaggerating because they want the Bitcoin price. Okay, let's just take it off the table. Now what are we going to deal with? We're going to deal with the halving, which is another supply shock. So the miners that create Bitcoin are going to get half the rewards as they did, or they're getting now. That's going to create more demand for Bitcoin. So we're going to have some real supply shock here real quick. The other thing about Bitcoin, when you see these drops sometimes, it could be miners, the people that mine the Bitcoin that need to liquidate the Bitcoin in order to continue their mining operations, keep their mining rigs going. That could be at one point of people drop. The other thing that could happen is you have the Asian markets and you have a lot of derivatives, a lot of people that are squeezed up there out, or maybe they need to dump Bitcoin for something else. They've played in the market where they've bought, some other derivative, and now they've got to sell Bitcoin to they play short-term bets is what I'm trying to say. So sometimes people get squeezed on these short-term bets and they got to get out in order to pay for something else. So they may sell Bitcoin to do something else because they're moving money so fast and so quick, and they got to do something. So, and sometimes that creates a little panic, and then you got a few other people selling, but you will never know what's going on over in the Asian market. It's kind of like, I don't know how it trades over there because I'm not familiar with their, when their expiration dates are due on their on their derivatives and how that all works, how that plays out. I read a little article about it, but they didn't give dates. That's when the squeezes come on those derivatives. But anyway, a derivative is just based on they're using the asset itself to leverage to buy or sell. That's all, and it's all kind of like. And there's so much money out in derivatives right now. It dwarfs the amount of money that we owe in debt and that we carry around is the amount of money that's leveraged against the U.S. dollar. That's why I say U.S. dollar probably will never, ever go away, because so many contracts and so much money is kind of built upon the valuation of the U.S. dollar around the world that we don't even know about. So other countries are using the U.S. dollar to leverage up, leverage down on money contracts that we'll never even know about. That's done in another country, just with the use of the U.S. dollar, and we have no idea. So we can't just say, hey, U.S. dollar economy is slightly off, interest rates going up, interest rates going down. We don't know, but dollars will remain strong. I guarantee you. And just for the heck, let's look at the commodities market. So the Dow is up a little bit, the S&P is up a little bit, NASDAQ, stock market's on fire. It's high, but there's like 7 stocks driving the stock market. The Fantastic Seven or Big Seven or whatever they call it. It's like Apple, Google, some of the big players in the tech stocks that people have been playing for years. Those are by 7 of them are driving the whole stock market. 7 stocks, and there's over 7,000 stocks altogether. So you got like 1% of the stocks that are actually doing something. They call them the Magnificent Seven, I believe. Gold is just below 2,000, which is doing nothing. Silver's down. I always watch the commodities because I used to be a farmer. Corn is terrible at $4. I got $4 for my corn back in the 1980s. That shows you how far off that corn market is. Wheat, all these, they're all down. Feeder cattle, it just sucks. Everything here sucks. Just terrible. It's unbelievable. I wouldn't touch it with anybody's money. You give me $1 million, I wouldn't even speculate in this market. It just doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. Let's take a look what's going on here. Oh yeah, you got the NASDAQ's up a little bit. So let's backtrack here, see if there's anything else I need to talk about. There's Novogratz. I'll show you MicroStrategies just in case you didn't know. It's trading at a premium. Always wants to do Microsoft. I can never spell MicroStrategies. Microstates. What the hell's Microstates? Here, let's back up a little. Micro, this is why I don't do this. There we go, MicroStrategy stock. Okay, so there he's up today, and 582.558. So the guy who owns that, or his company, doesn't own it. It's publicly traded. He's just the CEO and founder. Is and you'll see this guy. Let me tell you, he's quite the act too. Michael Saylor. So this guy, big billionaire guy, has this MicroStrategy company, and where is he? Oh, let me just put in Michael Saylor. Big billionaire guy, and what's he do? He turns his company into a Bitcoin holding vessel. Bitcoin holding company. So yeah, this is kind of funny. And now all he is a content creator. So he went from being, here's a crazy shock. I used to watch these guys too, that German guy. Let me see what they got to say. That guy, he used to do
a number $10 million, and that gets you to a number.
It's funny, he's from Omaha, Nebraska. I think he's from Omaha. Let's see where's Michael Saylor from. I think he was born in Omaha. And like I say, I've got connection to Omaha. My wife's family's all from Omaha. Her dad was an FBI agent in Omaha. So I got big connections to Omaha. Let me see. Yeah, he's born in Lincoln. Heck, he's a Cornhusker. He's like me. I've never heard him talk about him. But let me see if he probably didn't spend much time in Nebraska. Usually when they're born in Nebraska, they get out of there pretty quickly. Saylor was born in Lincoln, Nebraska. 60. He's a lot younger than I am, and spent early years Air Force. He was in the Air Force. That's why he was in Omaha or Lincoln. Yeah, because it's Omaha. The Omaha. The base is in Omaha. So I don't know how long he was in Omaha or Lincoln, but he was in the eastern part of Nebraska. So he's a Nebraskan just like I am. I was born on the other end of the state. So he got born on the rich side of the state. I got born on the poor side of the state. Let's see what he's got to say.
$10 million of Bitcoin when we're 20% of the world's wealth.
This guy is the biggest bull on Bitcoin I've ever seen. The other thing I always think is funny, he's always got the sailboat in the back. His name is Sailor. He's born in Nebraska, but he's got a sailboat in the back. There's no oceans in Nebraska. You ain't sailing that thing in Nebraska, believe me. Of course, I'm just laughing, making jokes. I know it has nothing to do with Nebraska anymore. He was just born there. So keep going, Sailor.
In today's dollars.
Today for the Bitcoin.
This guy's kind of funny. He used to do videos with a guy called Da Vinci. And the guy Da Vinci, I don't even know if Da Vinci's doing videos anymore. Because back in 2020, when Bitcoin was getting ready to make its big leap, he comes on the video and he says, I'm so kind of stressed because I'm selling my house to buy Bitcoin. And I'm watching this guy's videos and I'm going, that's a pretty silly move. You got to have a place to live. Can't be living in your Bitcoin. And, you know, he did it. And I don't know how much his house sold for, but all I know is Bitcoin went from 5,000 to 60,000. So I don't think he needs to make content anymore. I think he's done and he's just living off his Bitcoin. But this is his partner right here, this Chris dude. This guy's just he just blurts stuff out, doesn't really do much analysis. I don't think he's got any financial background. I think he's just a promoter, but he makes a lot of content.
Price. And guys, believe it or not, I am here for the 4th time with the one and only, the only person who can compete with me for
the only person that can compete with me. For what, Chris? For your good looks? Let's see what he's got to say.
The title of the biggest crypto Bitcoin bull, I have to say, in the universe.
Okay, the universe. Okay, thanks, Chris. Appreciate you being so special, so unique. You're just such a great guy. I'm just laughing at this guy because he's just such a self-promoter. Kind of like, who's the other guy that's a self-promoter? He's like, I think that guy might be going to jail. In fact, if you go to my YouTube account, the guy that I make this, that's not it. That's me live right now. But anyway, if you go to this one, I'm not live. There is, oh gosh, I can't even, the guy from, what the heck's that guy's name? I can't even think now. But anyway, I can't do it. There's my other videos. But anyway, if you go to that Bitcoin Believer, you'll see the guy that, can't think of these when I'm live. He's kind of a con man, but he got, what the heck? I'll think about it. Let me talk for a while. I'll think about it. But anyway, I did a video on him too. So that guy is pretty crazy, but I think he's in trouble. They say, I think he's got some legal trouble. In fact, he's running from law right now. So I've been around a long time. I've seen all these people, listened to all their videos, interacted with some of them. Like I say, Novogratz, never talked to Sailor, probably would love to one day, but it is what it is. So let's talk to how long have we been going? We're going 29 minutes. Got 2 people watching, appreciate it. And I've got some comments. So let's talk about the comments. So let's go up here, talk about Lenny first. So Lenny G, good evening, sir. Well, thank you, Lenny. I appreciate that. Good evening to you. I wonder where you're at. I'm in Southern California. So we're evening. We're 3:46. So yeah, drop a line, let me know where you're at. And we got Golden Dragon 13 or Golden 13 Dragon. I always say Golden Dragon 13. Sorry about that. Here we go. Let me put you on broadcast. There we go. Hello, Kent. Nice to see you. Yeah. Hello, Mr. Dragon. How nice to see you too. Hodl, Mr. Dragon says. And then Mr. Dragon talks about the retest FIBS. What's a retest FIB? Retest fibs. Interesting. And then we've got MSCA VA fan. Bitcoin. That's my number 2, man. That's 100,000. That's where I want to be too with Bitcoin. I think that's a good number for Bitcoin. That's an excellent number for Bitcoin. And he also adds, or she, I don't know, but they also add, let me get this one up. Hope you and your family have a great Christmas holiday. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And Golden Dragon says, love crypto, new money, crypto, trader. Yeah, hey, good stuff. I appreciate all the comments. Got 2 people watching, 9 comments. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Like I say, I haven't been doing this very long. Try to keep it going. And I'm trying to think of the guy that I did that video on that was a big promoter. I mean, the biggest promoter, a self-promoter of himself in the crypto space. Oh gosh, let me think. He does the, now it's got that. I can't let it go. I got to think about who this guy is. The Pulse Chain. There we go. This guy. He's the biggest promoter of self-promotion I've ever seen. Richard Hart. This guy. And I called him out years.
New people, new to cryptocurrency, they feel richer when they can buy.
This guy.
New people, new to cryptocurrency, they feel richer when they can buy more units. There's a thing called unit bias.
He's the biggest promoter I've ever seen in the crypto space. Is Richard Hart from Pulse Chain. In fact, I made a video about him, kind of calling him out with the Louis Vuitton and the stuff. He's kind of like an FTX guy, not quite as bad as FTX guy, but he's a huge self-promoter, and some of his stuff just doesn't make any sense. The Pulse Chain. But when I called him out, a lot of people people did make money with him because he wanted you to stake Ethereum. And then when you staked Ethereum, he was going to give you some of his Pulse Chain. It was kind of a cobbled together deal. But he was a great promoter, great talker. Guy could just talk up a storm. So I started talking a little bit about him in some of my videos because I thought he was a little bit of a BSer. So a lot of people challenged me, hey, buy some, we'll give you some. In fact, I think I even got some gifted to me, some of the Pulse Chain crypto. They gifted it to me to show me how good it had done. And I can't remember, I had $100 or $200 worth. But it did do really well. I never sold it. It's probably gone back to zero. But someone just gave me like a couple $100 worth of Pulse Chain, just to prove me wrong about the fact that the guy was making money. And he was. I mean, there was a little bit of time where it did go up. So Richard Hart, like I said, I asked him to come on my channel and talk to me, but I never got a response. I don't think he'd want to talk to me because I kind of called him out on some stuff he was doing. I said, man, you're just putting a lot of stuff behind you for Louis Vuitton and Rolex watches just to get people to jump in when you really don't have much going on. So I don't think he liked that too well. So anyway, I'm going to sign off today. Hopefully Bitcoin gets back to where it was and higher. Like I like what the comment said, 100,000. I really want that 100,000. Bitcoin gets to be 100,000. Let me tell you what, I will really be on this channel talking Bitcoin because that will be a monumental figure. Right now, there's a lot of people arguing that Bitcoin really isn't doing much because it's below all-time highs, and they're right. So until we get to like 66, 67, 68,000 bucks, everybody's just saying, hey, we're sitting on the sidelines till it really comes back to where it should be. And I think they got a good point. I mean, I can't argue that. I can't argue the fact that we're below all-time highs. And, we need to get to all-time highs and then bust through like 100,000. That would be $100,000 would be a nice way to get going here. Up into the $250,000, $500,000, and even $1 million Bitcoin, like the guy from Saylor just said. So look up Michael Saylor, look up Mike Novogratz, and kind of figure out who's in this community. Watch the markets a little bit. Try it. Got nothing to lose just with a few $100 if you want to find out what's going on with it. I appreciate you watching.